Ask George is brought to you in association with International Cricket Tours. ICT are specialists in cricketing holidays with a personal touch. So if you're looking at going to New Zealand, Australia or Sri Lanka this winter, look no further than International Cricket Tours. She is incredibly loud. I want to tell people how loud you are. We only got one microphone and I'm wearing it.
I'm just enthusiastic, although I'm quite drained. It's 25 days.
Ask George.
And we're finally here. What was that noise? Oh,
Son of Gavaskar.
Reese Benjamin asks,
Hello, Reese.
in the words of the UK's Eurovision entry, what the hell just happened?
I love that you still know what the words of Eurovision entries are. I'm still making my mind up. Do you see what I did there? If it was 1982, that would be so topical.
Was this Ben Stokes' Waterloo?
I mean, it was very nice. I mean, to be honest, England's batters were just puppets on a string for Mohamed Siraj. Basically, under pressure, India were a bit stronger. I don't you think? You can cut to the chase in lots of different ways. It was fantastically entertaining. It was brilliant drama.
Yeah.
But actually, after the first ball or so, they looked like a lot of runs, didn't they?
That looked like a hell of a lot of runs after those first two balls. Even that second one from Jamie Overton inside edge to the boundary.
That's what I mean.
It was like, it just looked like they were going to. It looked like they were going to take a wicket every ball.
Okay.
And that first bit.
What was it like? Made that noise again.
Oh.
So Australian. So I thought that there were some actually quite poor shots. I mean, Jamie Smith's innings, are there questions about that?
Yes.
Okay, so we won't go on to it now. Look, I think 2-2 is probably a fair reflection. It would have been a bit of a...
Can you imagine?
It would have been a nonsense, really, if India had gone home 3-1 down.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe it might even be good for England. You know, had they won 3-1, they might have been less inclined to reflect on areas they could improve. I don't think they're terribly reflective anyway, so it probably won't make any difference. But 2-2 seems a fair reflection of the fantastic summer of cricket that we've had.
And it was just to see an hour like that was as absorbing an hour of cricket.
It was brilliant.
As you can ever watch.
On the best pitch we've had this summer in Test cricket.
Absolutely.
And it was just about full. It was sold out.
Yeah.
And it was just about full, which is insane, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Really, really lovely. And about 50-50 England supporters, I'd say.
I'd say pretty close. Yeah.
So a lot of good today. And I think it's probably about fair what happened. And really fitting that Mohamed Siraj, who has been so fantastic all series, took the winning wicket.
You can read what I wrote about him yesterday. Not him, Mohamed Siraj, my player of the series. Arch asks, great end to a great series, but should England have ever been in that position? Very poor dismissals from Brooke and Bethel yesterday.
Well, that's very true, but it was a huge total they were after, so it depends where you want to start. I mean, they conceded a huge amount of extras, you know, and they dropped 6 catches in India's second innings alone. They've got 2 guys in the top 3 who are averaging, 32 and 34 in a series dripping with runs. So you might think equally that they were quite fortunate to get that close of India. You know, the games they won, they kind of nicked them. They did. They kind of nicked that. You know, they needed a record chase at Leeds. They needed to bowl India out very cheaply at Lords. And they maybe would have nicked this one again. I mean, the criticism of England is, rather, that they always leave themselves needing miracles. The praise of England is they so often find them. How do you square that? I don't know.
I don't know. Can you? I mean, I don't even know if you can do both. At the same time, if it actually works, if they're going to get themselves into the position where they can produce those miracles, if they stop playing the way that they do, or if they maybe modify it a little bit. I just don't know. But the fact that they got to the position where they could have won it today after what they were faced with at the start of that last innings is pretty amazing. And you can pick out those, but you can pick out anything. You can pick out a dropped catch. There's so many things on both sides moments that you could pick out and say, what if this didn't happen, or what if
You
they
could,
hadn't done
but
that?
6 drop catches in one innings and
Is a lot.
all those wides. You know, when the margin is that small, I do think those things are relevant.
That is absolutely.
This isn't a Eurovision song, and at the moment I haven't finished my piece, but it's the first line of it at the moment. I was just thinking of that Springsteen line. You've got a million miles, how far do you get? And thinking about this England side, because 2-2 is the result that England and India had the last time that India were in town. And actually, I think 3-1 was the result last time England were in India, or was it 4-1? But 3-1 was the result of Root's team there in COVID. You know, for all the talk, I'm not sure that England have made a huge amount of progress. They just got better branding. Well, have they? I mean, maybe we'll see at the Ashes, but they're the same results, just with a bit more bluster.
JB asks, what happened to Jamie Smith in that 4th innings? He seemed to absolutely freeze when it mattered most.
Yeah, well, if he did, yeah. But that's a very fair question. Look, firstly, Siraj did bowl really well, didn't he? But, you know, the first thing you learn to do as a batter growing up in England is play the outswinger. And he got a whole lot of outswingers, and he kept on not moving his feet and poking his bat at them. I mean, dismissal looked inevitable. I think Siraj is really hard to play because he was bowling that ball beautifully. And what he's done, who's a good example? He got Pope, I think, earlier in this game, with the one that nipped back, the scrambled seam ball. And it looks so similar. It's all very well to, you know, criticise. Those balls are tough to play. So you're always worried about that one that's coming back. So you're always likely to be pushing your hands at playing the ball. But the question makes a point. Jamie Smith, whether he was exhausted, whether it was the pressure of the moment, you know, we know he's a very fine player, but that wasn't his finest few minutes, was it?
The amount of time he spent out in the middle, we talk about the amount of time the bowlers spend out in the middle and how exhausting it is. Maybe we don't always think about the exhaustion of keeping.
No, I mean, he looked shattered,
He looked
didn't he?
absolutely shattered. He looked a very, very different player to the one who was out there in the middle at Edgbaston, where he was able, you saw him batting with the tail, and he was fantastic when we've seen him in the past batting with the tail and controlling the sort of situation that Gus Atkinson kind of found himself in. And it does make me think how different he looked to how he did at Edgbaston, that maybe fatigue is in there.
I think so. Look, he hasn't kept this much before. Keeping so hard. I mean, what's he doing? 550 squats a day, basically.
It's almost as many as you, isn't it?
550.
In your recent regime?
No, 550. Christ.
Simon Landau asks, having won the 2 matches Bumrah didn't play in, do India's bowlers rely on him too much when he does play?
No, I think that's just a freakish stat. I think he'd have loved this wicket.
Yeah.
They played him on real flatties, didn't they? And I don't think he was completely at his best, as it happens. And actually, I think Siraj has maybe been the attack leader for a while anyway. I think they look at Bumrah more as a bit of a bonus. He's still fantastic. We'd imagine being able to win without him, being able to bring him back into a winning side. You know, in a perfect world, they'd have played another seamer here. That they won playing only 3 is testament to how well they did, you know. Krishna did really well as well, didn't he?
I think he is going to be a very good bowler
is he ever?
for India.
And he's come on during the series again.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't read too much into that. But
So sometimes that happens too, you know, the attention is on one particular player, and then there's something about someone not being around that makes people almost step up more. But I think also maybe it doesn't look at how India bowl in partnerships, and even if you look at when Bumrah's bowling, when he's bowling in tandem with Siraj, there are times I think when Siraj has bowled really well and Bumrah does get the wickets, and I think
that's true.
But
also, it wasn't either of their faults that they didn't do very well in Manchester, was it?
Oh, God,
I mean, they were fine. It's a weird result, you know, because it feels in a way as if India have won a bit, 2-2. And I think that's because you get these really well contested series in England between England and Australia and England and India. And I think, you know, the last 2 have finished 2-2. It was 2 when Australia were here as well. And then obviously when England go away, it's not so well contested. So you'd have to say that India on balance in all conditions are the better side, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I also think that England seems to provide conditions that just allow for a really even contest a lot of the time, and maybe then also not quite as good as other teams are at home in comparison. Like the strength of being at home.
I don't know. One of the issues with this England side is they've created a side that isn't at its best in typical English conditions, because the batters like it really flat and the bowlers sure as hell don't. And traditionally England would win these games on green seamers, but India have adapted. You know, the days when India's top order, for example, couldn't play short balls, I mean, Lord, that is long gone, isn't it? And equally, I think, you know, you're seeing bowlers now who are really, really dangerous on green seaming conditions. And you're probably not seeing many English bowlers who love Indian conditions. So, you know, on balance, when these guys took over, when the McCullum-Stokes regime took over, what were England in the world? Fourth, maybe? I don't know.
Third or fourth?
I don't know. They might have been a bit lower than that, actually, because it was a bit of a grim run. But where are they now?
Third or fourth?
Right.
Can I just say, can I just ask if it feels a bit like India have won and it's drawn, are you saying that it's a moral victory for India?
I probably got your deja vu.
I've got your deja vu. The Cricketers' award-winning team brings our subscribers news, features and insight on county and international cricket every single day. You can try us now by signing up for £1. Yes, you heard that correctly, just £1 at thecricketer.com/digital. Lord Anzoni asks,
Your Lordship.
brilliant and dramatic test cricket, but when does Rob Key start to be put under pressure? This England team doesn't win series against good teams, and his selection and preparation policy has to surely be a factor in that.
Very fair point. I mean, you know the answer. It's what happens in the Ashes, whether it should be or shouldn't be. It is. I mean, there's a T20 World Cup right after that. You know, look at England men's, well, look at England women's as well, actually. Performances in global tournaments of late, and it's not awesome, is it? So there's a big 6 or so months coming up. But you're right to raise those questions about preparation. You know, did Bethel come into this game in the best shape possible? Well, he sure as hell didn't, did he? Did Jamie Overton? No. So I think they haven't respected county cricket enough. And I worry a bit that the people who have come in from county cricket will have reinforced their views. So I know that Liam Dawson's performance at Manchester splits opinion. I think he bowled well, but I accept the figures don't scream that. And there's Sam Cooke earlier in the summer as well. So I think that they don't send people back to play county cricket or don't particularly value performances in it, and therefore people have come in short of a gallop, and that's made a big difference. So I think those are fair questions.
Interesting. You were there in the press conference, Ben Stokes' press conference?
Sure.
When I asked about
Jacob Bethel. He said it'd be nice to see Bethel go and play for Warwickshire now.
Which I thought was interesting. I basically was asking him, with all the white ball stuff happening, would he like to see him batting at number 3 for Warwickshire? And
he said it would be nice to see him play for Warwickshire. He did say that, yeah.
I thought that was interesting. So I wonder what the outcome of those discussions might be with Rob.
Do you think everyone here on the final day at the Oval was thinking, next week, every run matters? Or was it every ball matters? Was it every slogan matters? Because, as you know, every leg bye was cheered, as that ridiculous bye was cheered. When poor Chris Wokes looked in agony running, it felt as if every run and every ball mattered here.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
It's just a bitterness thing, really, because I think about what I'm doing in August and, you know,
it
should be county cricket or maybe even test cricket.
Richard Prue asks,
Brewster?
I think we're in a really, really good place, said Ben Stokes on England's Ashes prospects. Isn't this far too optimistic? India were the far better team this series. Well, but first of all, Ben Stokes, what's he gonna say?
Yeah, we're screwed.
We're so screwed, mate. Yeah, we're gonna get stuffed 5-0.
I think they've got a chance, in Australia. I don't think anyone thinks England are favourites, but I think that Australia aren't quite as good as they were. That batting lineup, you know, it's not extraordinary. The bowlers are older than Joe Biden. I think it's a possibility.
Harsh. I think a lot depends for England on how fit all their options are, particularly with bowling. That's obviously some bowlers.
I'd
to
be
come
worried about
back.
their top three as well. Yeah, as I say, you've got two guys in this run-drenched series averaging 32 and 34. Why would you expect Zach Crawley to average more than that? I mean, that's what he averages in first-class cricket in his career. He's played, 60 tests now? Why is it suddenly going to change?
I don't know if it does. This is going to be it, though. This is going to be the moment out in Australia when Zach Crawley goes out and has the best series of his entire life.
Fair play.
And absolutely gives it back to everyone who has doubted him and
Well, they've sure invested in him.
I know. Well,
he's going to play, isn't he? He's going. I mean, they've only got. I don't know that. So I wonder if all of them will play another first-class game before going into the Ashes, because some of them will be playing in the white ball series. There's one warm-up game, which I think is a 3-dayer, and it's against England Lions, and I imagine it won't be first class. So if some of them played their last first-class cricket ahead of the Ashes, well, Stokes probably has, hasn't he? It's not ideal, is it?
No, it's not ideal.
And they said Richard Thompson's a nice man and stuff, but it was asked the other day.
No, don't even repeat it.
It was asked the other day about England's schedule going into the Ashes, and he said, I think playing ODI cricket in New Zealand's very good. Well, it's not, is it? It's a different colour ball.
I can't believe you even said that.
It's a white ball. And you bowl a maximum of 10 overs. It's day-night.
And it's in New Zealand.
And it's in New Zealand.
Yeah, kind of ridiculous. But look, when all is said and done, it has been an exhausting 25 days. Stuff the players, it's been exhausting for us.
No, it's been lovely.
It has been brilliant. Every single day. And I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
No, it's been a privilege to watch it. But I honestly, I do think that quite a lot of summers are like this. But it's great when the grounds are full like this. And I'm not sure that you get in every city in the world. You would get such good support for both sides.
Yep.
And such good-natured support for both sides. Don't know. A lot to like. A lot to celebrate this summer.
There is a lot to celebrate, and we've enjoyed bringing it to you each and every day along the way during this series. But that is Ask George for the series.
Thank you for all the questions. Hopefully, see you in Oz.
Am I going to have to put up with you out there? Better now.